I would like to show you what our plan is, what our contents are, and what we are going to do. So as I said, it's sustainable writing for engineering students, and sustainable really meaning something that endures, something where people can rely on their yields also on the long term in the years to come. And well, that is at least our hope. And we divided our IO, or our work unit, into 3 parts. We can see here. I have to say that, of course, there's a lot of fine tuning necessary and a lot of things need to go in here. But we have already tried things out, and I'm going to talk about that later on. So we have these 3 parts: academic writing for engineers, writing as a prospective engineer, and writing as a practicing engineer. And I would like to introduce those things to you, and I hope that I'm doing that right, because we also had split up those things, but okay, good. So at first, academic writing for engineers. And what you can see here in our website is that we have those different subsections. So of course there's home, that is where we are, where we currently are. Then how to avoid plagiarism. We would like to rely heavily on student work. So that means student work as examples and using examples from students, something that they have written for analysis and also for improvement. Then we have created partially, but will continue, a my practice part. That means material that students can use for self-study if they want to. Also self-evaluation will be an important part, and we have a teacher's area. And now let me go in here. I hope I can manage. So academic writing for engineers is the first part, and we thought that our material should be sufficient for 1 semester, 14 or 15 weeks, 90 minutes a week. So one teaching unit is 90 minutes, and our plan was to have the first third of it for academic writing for engineers, the second writing as a prospective engineer, and the third writing as a practicing engineer. So that's the plan. But of course, this should be very flexible, the whole thing. So that is, if in one class, the focus is on academic writing only, there should be enough material to use, to be taken from that place here as well. So our hope is that our site grows, and that there will be more materials in there, so that every teacher can use the material according to his or her needs. So, but at the moment, we were thinking of these 3 thirds. And so we have written some little introductory texts here, place for writing at the university. And well, what is closely connected with that is, of course, plagiarism and how to avoid plagiarism. As I said, it needs a lot of fine tuning, all those things. And here you see something about paraphrasing, summarizing, and citing. So we had, of course, to limit ourselves, because we only have that 1/3 of the semester, and to squeeze everything in there is really, really hard. Well, there will be, so that's the input that is given, how to avoid plagiarism, paraphrasing, so there will be some explanations, and there will be examples. So this might also look different after we have further worked on it. So that would be the first thing. And right, and then the second is summarizing. There's also an explanation and an example, which can also be used for self-study or in class. And the third would be citing, same thing, explanation, and well, all the fields that where or in all fields, citations serve at the same purposes and so on, and citation systems and so on. Right, so that is theoretical input. And then we have already worked on those things with our students. And well, they came up with a lot of very interesting things. And that is what you can find here. First impressions. And first impressions is something that I did with my students. So there is the task, and there was if you had to write your first qualification paper, also known as bachelor thesis right now, how would you approach this task? And I think for a writing class, this is always a very rewarding task, because you get so much insight into how much students already know and what they don't know and so on. And we have put 2 examples in here. So the first, student answer 1 and student answer 2. And of course, there's also some comment on that. Right, so this is about first impressions, student work, and there will be more, of course, there will be more, so that this can also be given as examples for analysis to students, can be used in class and so on. Right, the second is synthesizing from different sources, again, because it's under student work, there is an original task and there are student answers as well. So, and the references, of course, so that a lot of material can be found, which teachers and students can work on. Of course, writing an abstract is an important part. And looking at those things, I already now doubt whether it is possible to manage all those things in 1/3 of the semester, if it is a sequence of teaching, theory, practicing, asking students to submit their work, then check all those things, give them back and give feedback and so on. So which is also depending on how big your classes are. And I know that Goni's classes are huge. Sometimes she told me she has a lecture hall, well, in times before the pandemic, of well, holding 100 people, for example, which is unimaginable in my place. So you can imagine that this is a lot of work, and whether it's possible at all to give everybody feedback. So well, I doubt. Okay, writing an abstract is yeah, what you can see here. And then there is peer review, and this is an important part, and it would be nice if Goni were here, because this is what she did with her students. She asked them to write their text, find an engineering topic you are interested in, locate relevant sources, would also be possible to give them that topic, and then ask them to locate relevant sources, and then to write coherent text using information from the sources. Look, there's further instructions, how many words students should write and so on. And what she did is that she collected all those things, of course, and then made her students discuss about the papers that had been submitted. And that was very, very interesting. We wanted, or the plan was that we wanted to do that together at first, but our semesters are so different. So when she finished, we were only 2/3 through, and so this, well, in the summer it is very difficult, but we are doing that in the winter, and want to do that then in the next semester. So bringing our students together. So this semester that was really hard. And finally, she did that with her students. Right, that is student work. Okay, so that's about, let me see, of course. Okay, yes. And then there is the my practice part, where we will put in tasks for self-study. And there is paraphrasing already, and there are also examples and instructors' comments. And as I said, there will be more, of course, right then. So what we also plan, and we have already prepared some in this My Practice part, we thought it would be a good idea to also offer quizzes, such as on Kahoot, for example, to bring a little bit of variety into this otherwise very, very dry subject. As we have heard today, writing is not among the most favorite subjects, and I think not only of engineers, but in general. So I think also other students of other subjects don't like it or don't call it their favorite subject. Okay, good. Then let's go on, self-evaluation. So there now Guni is coming. And
yes, she's just admitted her, so she will be there.
Okay, very good. So I'm waiting for a minute, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Maybe if there are some questions until
yes,
she
please.
joined.
That would be a good chance.
I have a question, if now is a good time.
Please.
Jutta, I like very much the look of all of this, but I know that I would probably like to cherry pick tasks rather than adopt a whole semester's worth of, like a program, if you like. Are these tasks, I mean, how good do you think they are as standalone tasks? Could I choose 2 or 3 tasks from this, do you think?
I'd say that's absolutely possible, right? To just take the things that you need, and that was the plan, to be as flexible as possible. Because I'm doing exactly the same, and I do think that not very many universities follow exactly that structure, right? Having 1/3 of academic writing, 1/3 of, or 2/3 then of more practical part. So. And we have just chosen that format of a website because we wanted to put it somewhere, and we wanted to show how it could look like.
Yeah, it's really impressive. This was just something I thought of when I gave a comment to Deborah yesterday, that I think we should all be prepared to create standalone tasks that teachers can use and adapt. I think we're much likely to produce material that teachers will use if it's slightly open-ended, or if they don't depend on each other, if they're standalone.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree, Jamie, because that's exactly how I work. And it's also very often the case that even if it is the same class, let's say the semester after or a year after, it might be different because of different people who are in there and with different needs. And so on, and then you start again finding material and so on. That's why it should be as flexible as possible. And I think you can use our parts here very, very well as standalone units. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so I can't see everybody, but Guni, where are you?
I am here. I am really sorry. God. Finally, the electricity is back. So,
okay. Hopefully, it stays. It remains.
I know.
Okay, Guni. Just to inform you, you can see where I've ended up with my practice in the academic part.
And
do you want to say something about self-evaluation, because that is what I haven't done? I just showed this.
Okay. All right. So let me. Can I start sharing the screen then?
Do you want to use yours?
Yes, why not?
Okay, good. Then go ahead. I've closed mine.
Okay, I named both of your co-hosts, by the way, if you needed it, and I shared also the link of your website for those who are interested to have a look.
Okay, so
well, I have already spoken about those things. Self-evaluation, that would be the next.
Self-evaluation means that the students will be able to, when they when they work on something, they will be able to evaluate based on a number of checklists their work if they need to. So I'm sure Jutta said at the beginning, because it's sustainable writing, this is a way, one of the ways in which this is going to be sustainable, because students will be able to see when they are doing a particular task if they have sort of gone through all the important points. So we may come up with some other ideas, but checklists is the main thing we are going to use for the different genres we have in the student work. Yeah, so there is a citing checklist and an abstract writing checklist. Of course, this work is not final. It's ideas, and we are going to work on it much more. So that's the point of self-evaluation. It's sort of giving students some sort of autonomy to evaluate their work. And the teachers area, here is where there is some interesting, I would say, overlap between IO2 and IO1, because in the teachers area, we are going to give teachers all the materials we think they need in order to prepare for the semester. And I heard a little bit of Jamie's comment. Jamie, I agree that teachers should be able to be flexible. And so this is the idea. I don't know what Jutta said in the beginning, so anyway.
The same.
All right, so I will not repeat it. The idea is, in the teachers area, is to give lesson plans, worksheets, student checklists, and examples of student work. There will be a lot of linking from one to the other, cross-linking from one to the other areas, of course, and we will give them evaluation criteria in order to evaluate different types of genres. This is what the students used for the peer review task. These are the evaluation criteria they were given in order to evaluate each other's work. So this is an example of the evaluation criteria we are going to use. And you will see some of the, they will also have lots of downloads, worksheets, sheets downloads, and all sorts of things like this. You will see an example of lesson plans and worksheets in the area where which is about practicing engineers. So so this is it really about these two areas. Jutta?
Mm-hmm.
Like
yes, I would like to continue then. Well, the other two parts, as I said already at the beginning, so, well, writing as a prospective engineer is still in the pipeline. There will be texts such as CVs, covering letters, entries on social media platforms, LinkedIn, and so on. And we also want to put in, or want to give our students the possibility to work on pitching themselves for interviews, for example. And why is it in writing? Because in pitching, very often you have that method of scripted speech, right, to make it a really good pitch finally. And that is what we thought would go in here, and what would hopefully be very helpful to our students. So that is what we thought should go in here for writing as a prospective engineer. So writing as a practicing engineer is a very practical part. And now it's okay. Yes. Okay. Where we will also base our work on typical types of text. But as I said, with these 3/3 that we split it in, so at the moment it is reports, proposals, and minutes, taking the minutes as the main types. Well, writing web content is here as well, so I wrote down the minutes. I don't know why. Sorry for that. Well, what we are doing here is we are fortunate to be allowed to use original and authentic material of our business partner, who agreed that we can use their documents, their templates, and so on. And I think it's a very good idea to have authentic material, to have original material, and even if we have to slightly adapt it for our purposes, these will still be original documents. And we just want to show you the one about writing proposals, and this could be downloaded as a lesson plan, so we have just put it in here. So there is the lesson plan. As I said, of course, it's not complete, but we have put our things in there. And well, then yeah, and there will be an original proposal for our students to for analysis. And finally, there will be a worksheet. And Connie, perhaps you can show the worksheet, also downloadable worksheets, where you see several things there. First, a writing process, and then the proposal I haven't added. Hey, why? Okay, and then it ends up with productive work, writing a proposal, and based on this authentic material, which we received from our business partner, right? And here we ask our students, write a proposal to a company that asks for a training event, and what should go in there, what tone should be used, so what pieces of information need to be in there. And yeah, that would be a task where we think is a very useful one. Okay, so that's the plan so far. I did not mention at the beginning, our levels are, of course, B2, C1. So that's where most of our students are on, and most of our classes also are taught according to this level. Right. So that's the plan. Can we answer any questions so far? So for that second part, perhaps.
Let me go back.
Yeah, I would have a question. You were talking about writing an offer, for example, but I think what I would need to have, I didn't do that up until now, is tell them how to write specifications, because you can also be on the customer side, where you have to write the specification, which is quite often like this. And so this is, I think, something for the better levels like B2, C1 could be really important. Did you work on this?
Not yet, but we were thinking about offering those tasks at different levels. So well, of course, to have a more, well, I wouldn't say basic, but to have an additional part perhaps in there for those who are on a C1 level, for example. And yeah.
Because it might be also different from country to country. So this could be an interesting part on the intercultural aspect,
absolutely.
You know, to see how you conceive the specifications in the UK and in Germany and Greece, etc. might be different, what is important. So I think this could be also interesting for our engineering students.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
And this is an area, the lesson plans, especially with in relation to business partners and using this authentic material, is something we have not tested with our students yet. So having ideas about the types of documents we can include here is a good thing, definitely. So
maybe I can ask those who are present, does anybody have experience with this, like specifications, working on that? It's not easy to get them. I tried already to get some specifications from the industry, but they're not really keen on giving them to somebody outside, huh? So this is,
and it's I think it's also, well, it's difficult because you do not want to exclude somebody. That's another point. So if I have specifications for, let's say, the British market and the German market and the Polish market, so then I would also have to include the other ones. We would end up with long lists. So we need to think about that. What is possible.
Yeah, but I think we can start somewhere, and then the countries who are interested can edit in their own language and for their own market possibly, because otherwise you will stay for several years again in the project without being paid, of course.
Okay.
Can I also ask a question?
Yes, please.
About some of the early activities that you showed, Jutta, when students had to put together a pretty extended, seems to me, text of about 700 to 900 words based on input
Tony,
text.
that was yours.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, right.
My
question,
I think.
Summarizing, yes, summarizing. And my question is, what was the level of these students that you tried this activity with? Because I think I've read second year, or Jutta, you said second year electrical engineers, or
No, I didn't say. But
okay, I just read it then. Yeah. So my question is, what was the level in terms of language competence?
They were C2 students. The students,
okay.
Yeah, the students who did this work, and the idea was to do a much longer work. I mean, I can show you the PDF of what they actually produced. So this is what they did. They produced a longer text using references, so much like sort of part of the introduction of a research paper, and they also wrote an appendix where they recorded their experience, from the semester working the material they learned, but also working on the project. And the idea was to capture some impressions from the students about doing longer tasks, but also to do this, to get students to evaluate each other's work based on some criteria. So for that, I mean, in my courses, I have a lot of students who are at C2 level, and so it's quite easy to work with them and to get them to do more demanding tasks.
Thank you. Thank you, Gun.
In my courses, I don't have those high levels too. Well, not C2 and well C1. So our entry level is for engineers is upper B1, lower B2. So but taking shorter texts would be possible, or right checking text for their levels before would also work. But the procedure would be the same. Actually, it's just adapting the level.
And actually, one of the questions we had in Utah, are we going to do this breakout rooms?
Yes, I think.
Yeah, hopefully, is really the breakout rooms tasks were about. One of the things was this: what do you think? Your thoughts about this, and particularly the video work and the peer review in that context, and using those criteria in this manner. And the other thing was first impressions.
Yes.
A task concerning first impressions
and we would very much appreciate your valuable input on evaluation and evaluation criteria, because that is as we think always difficult, right? And there need to be different evaluation criteria for different types of text, and therefore we have prepared a Padlet, and I'm putting the link to the chat, and I will
start sharing them.
Yes, and I would then put you into 4 groups, if that is okay. So we are now a bit short of time, but perhaps you can have a look at what we have written there in that Padlet. We have, well, if you are breakout room 1, please take example 1, because everything is in one Padlet. If you're 2, 3, and 4. So 4 rooms, and there are those examples that Connie has just shown you. And please have a look at them again, and then come up with evaluation criteria for that specific example, and perhaps in general, right? If there are just a few things, we are happy with that, because time is short.
Yeah.
Okay, I hope that's okay for everybody. Thank you so much. Okay, I think I'm doing that again, and I do it at random right now. I hope you don't mind. Okay. Okay, Goni is gone. I put her in a room as well.
Do you want her to come back? I can beam her back.
Okay, yes.
Okay, und warte, so, weil ich bin in keinem Raum, weil ich
Okay.
Host bin. Wo ist denn jetzt Goni? Ach da, ich hole sie wieder zurück, okay?
Ja, gut, danke. Ist etwas konfus heute.
Ja, ich sagte, ich hatte das neulich, ich hatte 120 Studenten und dann hat
Oh
Zoom
Gott.
gebuggt und dann konnte ich weder die einen zurückholen, noch die anderen in die Breakout-Rooms bringen. Und das ist neulich bei dem Kongress passiert, auch von unserer nationalen Sprachlehrerversammlung. Da war echt Panik angesagt. Ne?
Ja, das
Deswegen
glaube
ist
ich.
immer besser, wenn man so ein Backup hat, irgendwie so, dass man noch einen zweiten Zoom hat oder so.
Hm.
Ich nehme an, Kascha ist nicht da. Deswegen
Nee, das könnte
ist hier nur
sein.
ihr Bild. Ne? Die ist vielleicht nur eingelinkt, aber nicht da. Okay. Na, da ist ja nochmal alles gut gegangen, irgendwie so. Das sind echt so die Sachen irgendwie so schrecklich,
Ja,
ne? Wenn sowas passiert, irgendwie gerade jetzt in dem Moment dann irgendwie so.
eben. Und du kannst dir 10-mal sagen, bleib mal ganz ruhig. Das ist man nicht.
Ah, nee, das ist ja echt schon schrecklich. Komisch, aber ich meine, vielleicht
sie
will
denn?
sie nicht weg. Warte, Moment, ich gucke
Das kann
nochmal.
natürlich sein. Vielleicht
Ich
diskutiert
hatte
sie ganz
eigentlich
andere.
déplacé in Session principale, habe ich eigentlich gemacht. Also ich habe sie eigentlich zurückgebeamt.
Ich sehe sie jetzt gar nicht mehr in den Räumen.
Doch, doch, sie ist in Raum
Ach doch,
1.
ist ja stimmt.
Ist gleich
Anna
als
Amalia.
erster. Ja, ja. Aber ich habe jetzt schon mehrmals gesagt, ich will sie zurückholen, aber
Macht ja nichts, ist nicht so schlimm.
ja,
Ich
da
gucke
kann sie
jetzt
da
hier mal.
diskutieren. Okay, sonst ist bei dir alles okay? Wenn wir 2
Ja,
Sekunden
soweit.
haben. Ja.
Soweit.
Wie sieht das bei
Soweit
euch
geht's.
aus? Geht ihr zurück zu Präsenzunterricht im Herbst? Oder?
Also es wird geplant mit Präsenz, aber
Ja.
ehrlicherweise glaubt keiner, dass es dazu kommt.
Ah,
Also
okay.
sie sagen, also alle gestern kam vom Rektorat wieder Anweisung und wenn man dann Leute hat, die nicht kommen wollen oder können oder so, dann ist es schwierig. Ja.
Jutta, I have a question.
Yes.
Because in room 4, we didn't know
Yes.
where the Padlet was, and we were looking under the link that was sent by Katja,
Okay.
and we didn't know where we were. So
No,
could
but
you explain again?
No, the link is only for the website. It's not for the
Right.
Padlet.
No,
So
but
I think you didn't send the Padlet. I haven't seen it either. Or you have sent it to only
I
to
put
one
it,
person.
I put it. Okay, that was
Maybe
the
you
problem.
didn't send it to everybody.
Yes, because I was now it's okay. Okay, so now.
Okay, I will send it.
Sorry. Thanks for reminding.
It's all right. So I'm going on my own to this other room, or do you have to send me again?
No, you should be able to go back again on your own.
Breakout rooms. Right. Okay. This is much
Okay.
better than Teams.
Yeah, it is really.
Right. Yes, it is. Okay. So I'll see you in a moment.
Ich schicke das gerade mal an alle. Ich hoffe, das geht. Also man kann ja eine Nachricht an alle schicken. Ja, du hast es wahrscheinlich nur an eine Person irgendwie geschickt.
Aber
ne?
jetzt, ich habe es jetzt gerade eben.
Ja, ich habe es kopiert. Ich habe es kopiert
Okay.
und habe jetzt nochmal in die anderen Räume geschickt. Ich warte mal gerade mal.
Okay.
Tu as reçu le lien pour le Padlet, Marlon? Non, 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 celui que je viens d'envoyer par diffuser un message, tu l'as pas vu? Ah. No. Okay, dann Jutta, also weil da muss man relativ schnell dann irgendwie klicken, damit man es geht. Ich gehe nochmal in die einzelnen Säle und gebe dir in den Raum. Ne? Ich kann ja hin und her wandern als.
Ja.
Okay, hello, sorry. Did you get that Padlet link or not?
We didn't open it on time. Can you send it
Okay,
again?
I send it again. Yeah, I thought so because you have to click very quickly.
Okay.
So where's the because I have it in discussion. Okay, to everybody. Here is it. Yeah, because Jutta sent it to only one person. You know, this is sometimes when you answer a person and then you answer again, you forget that you have to click on everybody. Okay. Okay, I'll go to the other rooms and give them also the Padlet link. You need the Padlet link. Yeah, I'm the host and I'm in the room. So you need the Padlet link, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Here it is.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, she sent it, but only to one person, you know, so it was a bit difficult to get it. So I sent it with the messages. Okay, are you okay?
Yeah, we're good.
Yes,
Yeah?
thank you very much.
Yeah, we were just
Okay.
a bit lost. Thanks for
Yeah, I
that.
imagine. Yeah, okay. I'll go to another room then.
Okay. So here we go.
Okay, 2
Okay.
Räume sind schon mal versorgt.
Okay.
Dann gehe ich jetzt, wo war ich? Also ich war da, wo Marlon war. Die war, okay, dann gehe ich hier in Raum Nummer 2 noch.
My students, hi.
Sorry, you need the Padlet link, I guess.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so here is it.
All right.
Okay, everything's all right for you?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
we were just looking for the Padlet. So.
Okay, and Jutta is coming in too, so I'll go to the
Yes.
next room and send the Padlet to the others. Okay, sorry.
I noticed this. I would propose, you know, a different title concerning the European countries part. But I have to say that the title was very successful. It was a good choice and it was fully relevant to the topic. It described it accurately and briefly.
About the title, yes, I think that you're right. I mentioned Europe.
Kann dich nicht hören gerade.
Das ist normal, wenn ich mein Mikro nicht anhabe.
Genau.
Nee, ich glaube, ich war jetzt in allen Sälen und außerdem
Ja.
warst du auch noch mal da. Ich glaube, es haben inzwischen alle den Link jetzt zu dem Padlet. Das ist gut, okay.
Sorry, passiert.
Okay, ja. Also bei dem Online-Teaching, also bei uns gehen eigentlich alle davon aus, dass es wieder ganz normal wird, aber ich sehe das auch noch nicht so richtig. Mit der TU Darmstadt habe ich so Projekte gemacht, die haben jetzt gerade schon beschlossen, vor einem Monat, glaube ich, dass sie wieder alles online machen im nächsten Semester. Also die wollen das Risiko nicht eingehen und sagen, es ist besser, es zu planen, ne?
Ja,
dass das
genau.
mal wieder irgendwie wie letztes Jahr dann da auf einmal von morgen auf heute so ungefähr dann sich umstellen muss.
Ja, ich weiß nicht, was ihr macht. Ich finde auch so für Sprachen funktioniert Hybrid auch nicht so richtig.
Ja, scheiße.
Du kannst nicht die Hälfte, die du da im Raum hast, zu denen kannst du ja nicht mal sagen, sie sollen jetzt miteinander arbeiten, denn das darf ja auch nicht sein. Die müssen ja auch langen Abstand haben.
Ja.
Dann hast du die andere Hälfte zu Hause sitzen.
Mhm.
Und das funktioniert auch nicht.
Nee, ich finde das blöd. Also ich finde ehrlich gesagt, dass Projekte eigentlich da sehr gut geeignet sind, wenn man halt mit anderen Unis arbeitet. Ich habe enorm viele Projekte gemacht, vor allen Dingen im letzten Semester. Das ist zwar wirklich anstrengend, weil du unheimlich viel Feedback geben musst und weil du viel korrigieren musst und so weiter, ne? Aber ich meine, das lief echt gut, weil die hatten dann mehr Autonomie, mussten nicht irgendwie jetzt den Nachmittag im Unterricht sitzen, irgendwie so, ne? Und dann konnten sie praktisch arbeiten, wann sie wollten und die waren echt motiviert. Also wir haben sogar mit den Erstsemestern da gearbeitet, mit der Uni Siegen war das, ne? Die haben tolle Sachen gemacht, die haben also über Nachhaltigkeit gearbeitet, aber sie durften sich ein Thema aussuchen. Manche haben über nachhaltige Kunst gearbeitet oder Bildung der Zukunft und haben super Produktionen gemacht, ne? Also Mindmaps und Videos gemacht und mit den größeren 6. und 8. Semester haben wir über Green Cities, also ein bisschen spezifischeres Thema gearbeitet mit der Deutschlehrerin aus Litauen auch, die ist echt ganz toll, Jogita.
Cool.
Wirklich, also das war wirklich schön, sie kennenzulernen. Also und die Studenten aus Litauen sind echt gut in Deutsch, muss ich sagen.
Ja, glaube ich, ja.
Und das war schön, weil die im Prinzip dann, sagen wir, 2 Nationen waren, die beide halt Deutsch gelernt haben, ne? Und dann hatten wir halt noch die TU Kaiserslautern dabei. Also so, die waren aber mehr so ein bisschen noch als Freiwillige dabei, bei denen da war das nicht Kurs mit Bestand. Und das hat echt auch gut funktioniert. Die waren größere Gruppen, zu 5 oder zu 7. Und das fand ich echt eine gute Sache irgendwie so als Alternative zum Unterricht, ne?
Naja, es war wirklich, bei uns war es wirklich schwierig, mit den Semestern zusammenzukommen. Goni hatte schon längst angefangen, da waren wir noch nicht und ich hatte noch nicht mal die Basics rüberbringen können. Dann kann ich noch nicht fragen, aber im nächsten Semester hoffentlich klappt das besser.
Ja, das Wintersemester ist da mal besser geeignet, weil mit Deutschland im Sommersemester Projekte zu machen, ne? Bei uns war es auch so. Wir hatten 14 Tage, wo ich das überlappt habe, der Rest war dann, da waren wir fertig und die Deutschen haben erst angefangen, ne?
Und bei uns läuft das Semester ja noch, nächste Woche auch noch.
Ja.
Und dann kommt erst die Prüfungszeit.
Klar, das ist echt, für Sommersemester ist echt blöd, das stimmt, ne?
Ja,
aber ich meine, ich weiß ja nicht, wenn du sagst, du hast wenig Französischlehrer, aber ich meine, Lerner, aber ich meine, vielleicht ergibt sich ja doch auch mal eine Möglichkeit. Wir machen also dieses Green Cities Projekt nächstes Jahr auch wieder. Und man muss ja nicht hier die gleiche Menge von Studenten haben jeweils, ne? Also von daher, bei uns sind halt auch die Deutschen, die halt über Französisch dabei sind, ne?
Das Problem ist, dass das halt nur Leute aus einem anderen Fachbereich sind. Das ist zum Beispiel International Business Studies. Und da sind welche, die den französischen Zweig gewählt haben, zum Beispiel.
Ja, bei den Ingenieuren sicher. Ne?
Bei den Ingenieuren, da will keiner das. Da findet man gelegentlich mal einen in Spanisch
Ja.
Wenn die irgendwo ins Auslandssemester wollen, gelegentlich auch mal wen in Chinesisch oder so, bei Asien dann interessant ist.
Ja.
Aber Französisch ist nicht,
Ist
und
nicht
es
mehr
ist auch
angesagt,
so, überhaupt nicht. Überhaupt nicht. Bei uns wird in Halberstadt bei den Verwaltungswissenschaften, da gibt es europäisches Verwaltungsmanagement, was sehr stark auf Sprachen angelegt ist.
Ja.
Der wird sterben, weil keiner das
Echt?
machen will.
Wahnsinn. Ja, schade. Ja, da muss man wahrscheinlich, also in Kaiserslautern zum Beispiel war das eine TU. Da sind halt dann nur Technikstudenten sozusagen und da ist es dann leichter, irgendwie aus diesem großen Pool Leute rauszufischen. Ne? Aber
Ja, das stimmt.
Wie habt ihr das weiter vorgesehen? Was ist jetzt 2:55?
Ja,
Habt ihr danach noch was vor oder nicht?
Nee, also wir haben jetzt höchstens, wir wollten nur noch ein allgemeines Feedback haben.
Ja,
also ich
dann
würde
sollten
mal
wir.
in das Padlet gucken,
Ja.
ob da schon was drin steht. Wir wollten nur ein ganz bisschen.
Alles klar.
Da sehe ich jetzt noch nichts. Wahrscheinlich war das zu lang jetzt, zu lang zu lesen oder so.
Ja, vielleicht, also ich sehe, weil mein Praktikant ist mit bei mir hier. Soll ich den irgendwie eine Nachricht schicken? Noch 3 Minuten oder so?
Noch 3 Minuten, ja, genau.
Ihr habt ja ein bisschen
vielleicht
zu
noch 3
spät
Minuten.
angefangen. Also ich meine, von daher.
Noch 3 Minuten und dann wären wir eigentlich auch durch. Nur wir möchten noch so ein generelles Feedback wollten wir noch einsammeln. Und das ist, also es ist schon klar, dass sich das überlappt mit diesem IO1, aber also wir wussten das nicht, was sie machen.
Ja, eben klar.
Und bei uns war das von Anfang an eigentlich der Plan. Aber es wird schon auch trotzdem noch unterschiedlich sein. Klar gibt es immer irgendwelche Sachen und
ja, genauso wie das, was wir in IO7 machen mit diesen Global Conversations. Das überschneidet sich auch mit dem, was die in IO6 machen, da mit den Gruppen. Es gibt ja sogar Studenten aus Kroatien, die sowohl bei uns als auch bei dem anderen Projekt mitgemacht haben.
Die nehmen mit, was sie können, das ist doch gut.
Und also das war so toll. Also ich meine, das ist echt auch was, wo es schön wäre, wenn man das zum Beispiel irgendwie auf Deutsch machen würde. Da könnten bei dir die Studenten auch auf Deutsch teilnehmen, weißt du?
Ja,
zum Beispiel, wenn die interessiert sind. Damit halt unsere auch so ein bisschen Experten haben und weil das Thema an sich ja auch interessant ist, auch wenn es jetzt nicht nur um die Fremdsprache geht. Und also ich meine, die haben gerne auch, ich habe das ja auf Englisch gemacht, obwohl es im Deutschunterricht war, das Projekt bisher mit Tatjana. Aber wir haben halt jetzt hier dann Kroatien und Griechenland dazu genommen und das war viel besser, mehrere Nationen zu haben. Da haben die viel mehr die Unterschiede gesehen, ne, die Herangehensweisen an Sachen. Also ich glaube, das hat sich echt gelohnt und zu viert war das echt eine gute Gruppe irgendwie. Das ist halt schon so ein bisschen Gruppenfeeling, ne, und nicht zu groß. Also das,
stimmt. Also wenn ihr wieder was da habt, also bin ich gerne. Ich finde auch immer Studenten, das ist überhaupt kein Problem.
Ja, okay. Ich kann das
also die sind sehr motiviert auch. Die würden das gerne machen.
Wir haben jetzt also, wir haben ja, weil ja theoretisch die Finnen, die England und Schweden, die sind ja auch mit uns in der IO7, aber haben bis jetzt noch nichts gemacht. Und da haben wir, also die sind jetzt das erste Mal dabei gewesen bei so einer Sitzung und wir würden halt gerne im nächsten Semester das ein bisschen mehr testen und auch in verschiedenen Sprachen testen, ne? Weil bis jetzt war es immer in Englisch. Aber ich meine zum Beispiel Jogita, bin ich sicher, die würde auch mitmachen auf Deutsch, weißt du, dann könnte man zum Beispiel das einmal auf Deutsch machen, einmal auf Französisch oder so, wer halt Lust hat. Das müssen wir so ein bisschen propagieren. Also wenn du morgen da bist, da werden wir das ein bisschen...
Ich bin da, nur nicht ganz früh gleich, weil ich meine Tochter noch zum Impfen fahren muss.
Ah, ja, das hatte ich vorgestern hatte ich das bei meinem Jüngsten so. Nee, aber wir sind nachmittags von 2 bis 4 und morgens geht es auch erst um 11 los. Also wir fangen
das
relativ spät an. Ne? Aber ja, okay. Also von daher, dann ihr werdet dann die Studenten sein, ihr werdet das einmal durchspielen. Und dann siehst du ja, ob das interessant sein kann. Das kann man natürlich auch noch abändern, je nachdem, wie man das haben möchte. Ne? Aber ja, also ich meine, das ist schon eine tolle Sache für unsere Studenten.
Ja. Sind eure Studenten geimpft zum großen Teil?
Nee, noch nicht. Das ist, also in Frankreich ist das gerade erst geöffnet für die jüngeren Leute. Also ich meine, auch ich bin erst einmal geimpft, weil ich habe AstraZeneca bekommen und da sind 12 Wochen zwischen den beiden.
Ja,
ne?
stimmt.
Also von daher muss ich jetzt, ich werde jetzt am
bei
7.
uns
geimpft.
haben sie tausende Termine gemacht hier im Impfzentrum. Es sind viele auch extra hergekommen und so. Unsere Arbeitssicherheitsbeauftragte, die hat alles eingerichtet, man konnte sich eintragen. Und ich weiß jetzt nicht, also die Annahme war ziemlich gut, habe ich gehört.
Ja, also bei uns inzwischen wird auch wirklich viel geimpft und es lassen sich viele impfen. Also meine Söhne sind auch beide das erste Mal geimpft jetzt, ne? Und jetzt neulich war ich bei Ikea am Samstag und sogar bei Ikea kannst du dich impfen lassen.
Siehst
du? Okay, soll ich mal die Serie zumachen? Okay. Das ist schon 59.
Ja, bitte.
Okay. Great, you ready?
Oh, it is just us. We're very quick then. We came back too quick.
No, we just closed the room, so everybody will be back because it's 59. Although we started a bit late, so
Okay.
It's funny to see Marlon on the screen as he's just 2 meters from me.
But not in the same room, right?
Yeah, we
Otherwise
are
there
in the
would be
same room. No, we were in the same room, but the room is quite big, and no, it's not 1 meter. It's
just
like
because
5 meters. 5
No, I mean,
meters.
just because of echoing.
No, but we
so-
have the headsets, both of us, so it's no problem. Now, and we're quite far away, and we have screens between us, so security-wise and echo-wise, we're protected. Oops.
Welcome.
Okay. No warning.
Welcome back.
Oh, there was some warning. I said a message. We would close the rooms in 3 minutes. So.
Oh, I didn't see it. Sorry.
Now, this is really a pity that the messages go away so quickly in Zoom. You know, should last longer. So I sent also the link for the Padlet, but it was gone before you could copy it. So this is something they have to maybe to improve.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. It was a bit unfortunate that time was short, but I hope at least that you got an impression of what we are doing. And Goni, the final thing is that we would like to ask for general feedback.
I would like to ask the team who were working with the video and the peer review. I cannot see any comments in the Padlet, so I wanted to see what you thought, some feedback on that. Did you think it was useful? Did you think?
Yeah, we were in awe, Goni. True.
Good. No, really? Yeah.
Yes.
Did you think it was? Is it useful to have something like this? You did listen to the video and what they were saying? Okay. So we will go ahead with it.
Yes, it's such an inspiring idea to have students answering each other. You know, like after each point that was made, you have a response from the writer.
Yeah.
Wonderful, really.
Good. Thank you. That's
something
that's
to
really,
introduce.
It's nice.
Our question was, did they record everything on their own, obviously?
No, this was part of their evaluation. I said right from the start, you know, your mark will depend on your written text, but also on the way you evaluate each other's work. So we arranged meetings, and then it was myself and the 2 students, and then some more students were there as audience, and they did it as part, so it was an evaluation context.
Okay.
And Guni, originally it was planned as video, right? If I remember right, it was planned as video, but then of course some people don't want to be recorded, and there are always those difficulties. But perhaps in the future we will convince or persuade people to also show themselves.
But that's even better, because you can really focus on the text and what they say about the text. So I wasn't missing the video. On the contrary, actually, I thought it was really very much focused on the activity and the negotiation as well. That was really interesting. The fact that the writer could reply to the feedback, that was pretty unusual for me. And the fact that there's some negotiation of meaning and structure in that particular interaction.
Interesting. That's good. Okay, cool. Okay, so
maybe I can just a second, because we were talking about the video, and yesterday I promised I would show you a photo, because I'm testing actually a 3D Learn space. And this is really nice because the students are less shy, because they're shown as an avatar. So this is, for example, where we do mock job interviews with 4 students. They can dress, this one is like 20 years old in truth. And so 2 of them did the mock job interview, and the other 2 put Post-its here on this whiteboard. So they could write, remarks while the others were talking. And this is really something I think it's a good idea for our language classes, because people can just hide behind their avatars. And then you have like a bit like a real life feeling, because the voice is getting louder when you get closer, and fades away when you go away. You have offices in that building. Marlon and I met quite often already there now when we had to do online meetings. So if you're interested, it's a German company. And it's
very good. It's a very good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that expensive compared to the American solutions, which also exist, but it's 400 euros a month for renting the building, and then you pay just 2.55 euros per login created. But then once it's created, it's forever, you know. So this is an interesting idea. At least we're testing it at the moment.
Good,
okay, but just didn't want to stop the discussion. I just promised the photo yesterday. So, and I think it's an interesting alternative to videos.
Definitely. Yeah. We will keep it in mind and see. I mean, we have 1 more year. You never know.
Time flies. It's very short. Very short.
Okay, so
can I just make a very quick comment before the next session starts? Coming from IO1, I have to say there's a really big contrast between the styles, and I have to say congratulations on everything that you've done so far. It's very impressive, and the fact that things are linking across the different little tabs you've got there. I like the choice of topics also, the drop down menu and the different things that they can do. And I wish you good luck with all the other work. It's probably quite a lot to do, but well done. Really very, very good.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
And I think it would be interesting to compare, you know, the outcomes. So then where you started and what the students learned, to compare that, and so improve both sides. Then in the end, could be interesting.
So can we have access to your website? Because I tried liquidmomo.wixsite, but I can't get on. So is it the right address? Or
actually, we don't know whether this is the final place. So
right. Okay.
So because I don't know whether Moodle is an option, so we don't use it here at our university, for example. A lot of people and universities do, so that's why we haven't taken the final decision.
Okay.
But for the moment, if you want to have a look, this should be the right link.
Yes. Thank you,
So
Katja.
I could access to the website like this. But yeah, as we said, all the resources we create will be on our website, on the batch project website, and it will be in the form you developed it. So it could be a website also, and also in a SCORM form, so that it would be easy to download. But this will be at the end of the project, not now.
We have a bit of a problem, Katja, with that, because this is, you know, it's public now. Wix is a public software, and when you publish the site, then it becomes public. So that's fine for us, but we don't want Google to find it, and we have 1 year ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So we may have to take a few things down.
Yeah.
You know, just for copyright issues.
For sure. Okay.
Yeah. And in that case, we will give you screenshots, and we will upload screenshots on the badge site.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so if you have, it's just to have an idea for the people joining, because anyway, all the resources will be publicly available. But if you don't find it anymore, that means that you maybe close down the website and put it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think, Jutta, we wanted to finish with some very, very quick Padlet with some quick.
Oh, I think we skipped that because it's late already.
Yeah. Okay.
So we received, I think, valuable input, and
I think so. Yeah. Great.
And if there are more ideas, we appreciate that very much.
Or if you want to do some of these evaluations and write some evaluations for these texts, you're very welcome. Later on.
Can you send us the link again, Katja, in the chat, because we didn't get it.
It's I'll send it again.
I'd be happy to review some texts.
Hey, good. Thank you, David. Thank you.
How long do we have until the next presentation? Is it 3:15, the next one?
Okay, then thank you to everybody
Yes, it
for
would be.
listening.
Okay, so yeah, I think we should maybe take some more minutes so that everybody can have a coffee, and then we start like 20, if that's all right for you, Gosha?
Yes, no problem.
Yeah, okay, so we'll be back to Okay, the Padlet link, I will send it in the chat, Maria. Okay, and I also sent, because I don't know if our new members from Hong Kong have also this website for the badge project. Here it is. Okay. So thank you very much, Jutta and Goni. It's really interesting work.
Thank you.
So a lot of inspiring ideas. So I think a lot of people will think about it and try some resources, try something out. And this is something also next year we should do more and more, exchange what we already did and try to ask colleagues to test it in their classes, even bits of what we did. In different languages, possibly also, because I know that I'm almost the only one who is not an English teacher here. I know Marlon, he's a Spanish teacher too, but but I think we should try also to test it in different languages. This would be great.
Yes.
So if
This is a point that I don't want to overshadow the presentation at all. I just think it's so good that, I mean, I haven't seen anything this good for Swedish, for example. There's nothing as good as what we've just seen for writing Swedish as an academic language. And I'm not suggesting that kind of Guni and Yuti need to translate everything, but this needs
our
needs to be
business partner
something
is
that
Swedish.
we think about as a project.
Yeah.
Having this material in other languages, because I think it would be really useful.
Yeah.
Jamie, our business partner is Swedish.
Okay. Right.
So headquarters is in Helsingborg.
Yeah.
It's good to keep in mind, huh? It's good to
Yeah.
keep in mind that.
Yeah, but we've thought also about IO7. We thought about also maybe, you know, sending our material to the partners. They could translate it by DeepL or something, you know, but then as it's their mother tongue, they could then read through it and be sure that there's no faults in it, so that we would have it available in different languages, because this is really important to the European Commission. And it's important for us also because obviously we're not only teaching English in our university. So I think this could be really a good point if we had as much resources as possible available in several languages. Maybe not in all languages, but at least some would be great. Okay, so then I'll stop the recording.